All right, welcome back, everyone. We're diving into some really interesting stuff happening in Formula One.
Yeah, some early testing.
Yeah, it's these like preseason tests that Williams has been running.
Barcelona.
Yeah, the circuit to Barcelona-Catalunya.
Exactly.
And we've got a fantastic report from soymotor.com, which is our main source today.
It's a great site. Lots of details in this one.
Yeah, and I think it hints at some things that could be really big for the coming season,
Potentially, yeah.
especially because it involves Carlos Sainz Jr. moving to Williams.
All right. Big move for him.
And the timing of these tests, it's just so unusual, especially for Williams.
Yeah, it's not something they've done in years.
Makes you wonder why now.
It does, doesn't it? You have to think it's tied to Sainz coming on board.
Yeah, and there's all this buzz already about the Saints effect.
Well, he has that reputation, doesn't he?
Yeah, I think anyone who follows F1 knows that Saints, every team he's been with,
They improve.
yeah, within a year or two, they're suddenly much higher up.
It's really remarkable. Even Formula One's own Instagram account, they had a post about this, showing how McLaren, Renault, then Ferrari all went upwards when Sainz joined.
It's like he's got this magic touch, you know?
Maybe he does. But let's lay it out for our listener. What exactly are we talking about with these tests?
Yeah, so teams are allowed this limited amount of testing outside the official preseason, right?
Right. It's regulated, but it's there.
And Williams just finished 2 days of testing with both Alex Albon and Sainz.
In the FW45, their 2023 car.
Yep, using last year's car.
Which is interesting in itself because if you remember, that car had that unusual steering wheel setup.
Oh yeah, with the tablet mounted on the chassis.
Exactly, not integrated into the wheel like most cars.
So why use the older car with that unique configuration? It makes you wonder if maybe they're working within a really tight budget.
It's possible, but could it be something else? Maybe a deliberate choice to help Sainz get comfortable with the team before throwing him into the 2025 car.
That's a good point.
We don't know for sure. These private tests are notoriously secretive. No detailed specs.
Yeah, we don't have mileage. We don't know the program they were running,
It's all very cloak and dagger.
which honestly just makes it more interesting, you know? What are they hiding?
Maybe nothing, maybe something brilliant. But what we do know is that James Vowles, the Williams team principal, he's already talking about Sainz's impact.
Oh yeah, he's been pretty vocal.
He's calling it a noticeable Sainz effect, which is fascinating because it seems to be beyond just Sainz's driving.
Right, it's not just lap times.
Vowles is saying Sainz is giving insights, refining details, pushing the team to think differently.
Challenging them, basically.
Exactly. And this goes to show that a driver's role in Formula One.
It's so much more than just driving.
Right. It's not just about being a talented athlete.
They are incredibly valuable sources of feedback, technical insight,
Think of it this way. The driver is like a central hub.
connecting everything.
All the departments,
Yeah,
engineering, mechanics, strategy.
because they're the ones feeling the car at the limit.
Exactly. And they can communicate that back to everyone, help the team refine their whole approach.
So they're kind of translating, right?
Yeah, translating the language of the car into something the engineers, the mechanics can actually use.
And that's where someone like Saints, with his reputation,
He's so meticulous, so detail-oriented.
he's the guy who's going to find those tiny margins that make all the difference, right?
Exactly. Over a race, over a season, those little things add up.
And the report suggested that these tests, a lot of it was probably focused on the procedures.
The communication between driver and engineers,
Saints getting familiar with the team's style of working,
building that shared language, understanding.
which is so important.
Especially in a sport as complex as F1, that synergy can be incredibly powerful.
And remember, this isn't happening in isolation, right? Other teams are doing this too.
Oh yeah, Ferrari, Sauber, they're doing extensive power unit component testing early.
Which makes you think, could 2025 be a super tight season?
It could be everyone looking for every tiny edge.
And Saints,
Yeah.
with his way of working,
He could be crucial in that kind of battle.
it's like Williams has added this catalyst, and now
Yeah.
we get to see what kind of reaction happens.
A very exciting prospect. Makes you wonder, could this be the year Williams is back at the front?
It's been a while, right?
Their last championship was 97.
Yeah, 1997.
They've had moments since then, some good races.
But nothing consistent.
Right, not that sustained success.
But you can't help but feel like, with Saints joining,
There's a new energy there.
a real sense of optimism,
And you know, having a driver like Sainz, it does something to a team.
psychologically.
That winning mentality, it raises everyone's expectations.
It's like if you believe you can win,
You start working differently.
you make sacrifices, take risks you wouldn't otherwise.
And Sainz, he's been with the top teams.
Ferrari, McLaren.
He knows what it takes to build a winning team.
And that knowledge, he can bring that to Williams.
Exactly. That experience is invaluable.
The report even mentioned how Sainz has been with, let's see, McLaren, Renault, Ferrari. He's got this broad perspective now.
On how teams operate, different engineering approaches.
Even how data is analyzed, communicated,
And for a team like Williams that's been trying to rebuild,
find their way back.
it's like having a consultant.
Who's actually been there, done that.
Someone who understands the pitfalls, offers real solutions.
Yeah, we can't forget about Alex Albon.
Right, talented driver.
And I think having Sainz as a teammate,
I'll push him further.
that healthy competition,
Yeah.
it can be so good for both drivers.
Raises the bar for everyone.
They'll be constantly trying to outdo each other.
And get the best out of that car.
It'll be interesting to see how their partnership develops.
Will they collaborate, share data?
Or will it get more? Rivalrous.
Only time will tell. But that's part of what makes F1 so great,
It's the human drama.
along with the technological spectacle.
Speaking of which, those tests with the FW45.
And that unusual steering wheel.
You think maybe Williams is hiding some radical innovation?
It's possible they have a history of pushing the boundaries.
Active suspension, CVT, they've done it before.
So who knows what they're cooking up now?
And using that older car with that specific setup,
Adds to the mystery.
are they testing components, gathering data?
We just don't know.
That's what makes these private tests so intriguing.
Like a puzzle with missing pieces.
But even without all the detail,
Nothing's clear.
Williams is being very strategic.
They're not leaving anything to chance.
And that's a good sign for their fans.
It says they're not just here to participate.
They want to compete.
Be a real force.
And with the Saints effect,
Who knows what they might achieve?
it's an exciting time to be a Williams supporter.
It certainly is. As we go into this new season, everyone will be watching to see if they can turn this potential into results.
It does feel like something special could be brewing at Williams.
But like we said, it all comes down to results on track.
Right. Potential is one thing.
Formula One, it's all about those points.
And got to be realistic, they have a lot of ground to make up.
7th in the Constructors last year.
A long way off the top teams.
Red Bull, Mercedes, they're the ones to beat.
But that's what makes it so interesting.
We could be talking about a huge shift.
Not just small improvements.
A real resurgence for Williams.
And that's where I think Sainz, he could be that difference maker.
Not just his driving, but that ability to push everyone.
Elevate the whole team.
He's done it before at other teams.
It's like he's brought this new DNA to Williams.
A winning mentality.
Something they've been missing.
This season, it's not just about a new car.
It's about a team reinventing themselves.
Redefining who they are.
It's kind of like,
A phoenix rising.
exactly.
And who knows, maybe this Ice of the Year, Williams surprises everyone.
Reminds us why they're such a legendary name in F1.
It'd be amazing to see.
Well, we've covered a lot today.
Those private tests, what they might mean.
The bigger picture for 2025.
Still so much we don't know.
But it's going to be a fascinating year, that's for sure.
For Williams and for Formula One.
All right, that's about all the time we have for this deep dive.
Lots to think about.
So until next time, keep those engines revving.